One is saying ewa UTV so and I will share me din e de ekua asanteba mensa sene ade bia ye no program ye wo ha wa church mo emrane mu e de to form boko e mamunya entiase ye enne ye komo twetwe no efa bibia ye fe no defamation ye torts law na defamation ne ye se misa wo ka asem na wan ka na te say as your personal opinion na wa ka asem no as a statement of fact e de gu obi hu fin no any friend defamation na ye ne lawyer Michael Kwabla our private legal practitioner na eba between nkomo na wa cheche mu the different types e bi ye slander ye say e bi so ye libel just odi e be fefa ne nyina mu na ya tase na e be ya wo gina abonten na wo kasa afo bi ho a wo be make sure sa sem na wo ka no e ye no credit anasa sem na wo ka no ne faribai etesen yen kwaje nkrato ye ba na ye de adesua no atwaso Mr. saying ewo UTV so and I will share again medin e de ekua asanteba mensa enne te say na meka yen komo twetwe no efa defamation na me lawyer Michael Kwabla or a private legal practitioner or ye adwuma ewo Ecam law consultant ewo airport residential area wo mo Coco Share building ne mu na ebesua de lawyer Kwaba.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
You can defamation and I said the thought of defamation then.
Okay, so defamation itself, like you said, no, it's a thought. A can't thoughts are groupings of wrongdoings. Okay, so defamation, no, defamation. Me can work from but I'll try to break down in the tree. It's a publication without justification or lawful excuse calculated to injure the reputation of another person by exposing him to hatred, ridicule, or contempt. Who can some for be one? As some now who can only say enya no cre. But who can go moving? Then to lower the standard of the person in the eyes of ordinary people without any justification. You don't know, you don't have any justification whatsoever. Any defamation. So normally what the court will ask and say whether or not claimant reputation has been lowered or has a tendency to lower claimants in the estimation of right-thinking members of society, or tends to make them shun or avoid him. Assemble no waka for be one, assemble obetumi aka for be one. Nkofo hu na omontwin ben no. That is defamation. There were two types of defamation. There was slander and there was libel. Okay. Libel your publication. Or the newspaper. So with the advent of social media into Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp,
Snapchat.
Yes, those ones. No.
TikTok.
When they are publishing false information for being one, it has the detriment or it has the capacity of like go for huna ombe huru and I say go for huna obonza papa onye no credit for. And we are liable. They are a true kind, yes. And only actionable per se.
Actionable per se, na saying. You
don't need to prove damage. I don't need to prove any damage to make a claim under liable because at the end answer speaks for itself. So we say reps is allocated. What I say, Makuya will be what front page. Michael Kwabla has stolen somebody's money. Me will be Jessica. Automatically the damage has been caused already. Okay. And it was slander. Slander, and so which are the antecedents of defamation na atroni shedeni or so a slander pan na for the slander ni spoken word uka asamegu obi hu fin like what the one no neka and it is not actionable per se. You have to prove damage before you can make a claim. Okay, so that's the difference between libel and slander. So libel no ye true social media, the graphic, and in fact TVs, they are who also, and slander ne
kasa.
They are only one obeka. What runs of false statement misrepresentation, which damages another's reputation.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, follow one by one. So kasa who use who would be right thinking members of society. Why mu qualified to be the right thinking members of society?
Any ordinary person or a compost mentis. It has to be a compost mentis. Na dream da honum. Assembly uka or bedroom was okay. Assembly the way go be moving. So those are the right thinking members of society. We call them the objective test. Normally that's what the court will look at. Assembly okay what would the ordinary person who is composed mentis obi an adwin adwuma no say no be dwen assembly those are the tests the court use in arriving at the right thinking members of society.
Now yemfa scenarios na yenhwa ade hwese me ne wo te he ya ye bonkomo ya na sa ene wo social media obi atumi hye ne dem o hye ne dem no afa phone na or a blogger na say your friends or vlogger na whatever it is that they are doing. Penny pebri wo ha eya na say especially when it comes to political things and I say political topics na kasa ne bi wo ha ye ka in my opinion ne ntamba asa ye kasa ne ma ne ye te say asemi a omo ken eye onimpefe na oka sa enkofo na na say sa agudi na say sa nkomo twetwe ye te say shows ene sa ne ma no sa nkomo na eye ekoso wo ho no ye betumi afa bi aka say ensem na mo discuss wo ho no egu mi hu fi ana say ensem na mo discuss wo ho no ama the damage bi abra me reputation.
Okay, so before we arrive at that we have to look at the elements of defamation. Say me do court say we gu mi hu fi a no me a me do court and I need to prove my case. And what are the elements I need to prove? The first element is that
no say enema you betumi agina so aka say sa same way a waka no and I say na wa ye no fall under defamation.
Okay, the first one is that the communication must be capable of defamatory meaning. A statement is defamatory if the words used will tend to lower the reputation of the plaintiff in the estimation of right-thinking members of society. Asem na waka no ye kire mu a ana ye kire ase a we gu nipa ne hu. For example, wakoka say a noble person and I say ma me be a ashawoni. Automatically no the word ashawo no it is a deviant behavior. What it means is that word no say ye kire ase a except we say defamation. Okay, so the case be a Villiers versus Monthly. Or say nipa who born to say car tie.
I'm done.
So the defendant wrote of the plaintiff that he stinks of brimstone. Once a brimstone in the car tie. While she tie is creature from look at the saint. Into cancer no people were not getting closer to the person. To say some now can defamatory automatically. But you say who say in Bonsu versus Force, in the court held that words spoken in the heat of a quarrel or an argument, though capable of defamation meaning, are not actionable.
Why not? Me no ko. Unim say asem na wo ka no. Nyampa. But as open so score points against me. Now what can say me I didn't know the enye.
So to me prove check court say okay na ubuefu a. It is not actionable. As humans as we are, no, sometimes we get our emotions get the better of us. So once it's through your emotions, now the courts can excuse you. So that's one day. But so we need our part and say you have to prove it. It's not say catch a court and say na me buefu. You have to prove it. Then amount bufu here. So courts must okay. What would an ordinary person think about that? We can give you that. The second one is say assembly ye chemo once assembly we can kasentwi innuendos. Okay. Assembly waka no in the literal meaning it's not defamatory. But like udomu esukwa once akwe we did watem. So there must be interpretation of the words, and in the law school interpretation we have what we call the golden rule, the literal meaning, the mischief meaning, and all that. Once the literal meaning, as some can literal be on do what them, but we do what them, you can action it. The words must be interpreted in their fair and natural meaning to determine whether they are defamatory. Where innuendo is used, the secondary meaning of the words must be ascertained. Kasentwi ni krambe. Send me my example of kasentwi.
Ya fa nia ebia oni nipa netifi hu ana oto nwum bi. A onum say ebia ya fa say that Yeah, two new person come kind of lumba you maybe. Na yeah, two you say enyom no yembo udi o. Ombo udi but enyom no asa efa sem bi esi e wo fie honom. E na nipa na fa ho no to enyom no. Nta asa enyom ya wutu. Umo me din de.
Obo ekutia.
Ba me nim say enyom ya wutu. Minti and I will sign your money. Yes,
so if you can prove it, it's actionable. Wait to me the court. Say ogun moving because I said no him so can straight type or we guys we did do attend but into obeka ne kutia ka SMP. Sometimes even to a class of people so obi wait to me about UTV or see UTV my juma for no more ano nyina no. Omuni mema ne dance na amom adwuma. Ombo obi edin o. But once you can identify yourself
as part of the group,
you can make a claim because and somehow it's a class or can as a group, but a group so you can make a claim.
Me kai say some time ago where did we be popular pound Ghana o can be say more fear for umofia.
Okay, mafia.
The people versus umofia. Yeah, bo be a particular, but you can mafia. We can actually, your friend said deduce and confirm.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you so yanum.
Yes.
Yanum for say. But that can also come under that.
Yes.
Okay. Until now, also.
The third element is so proven. Say there's reference to you. As it points to you. There must be something in the defamatory statement pointing to the plaintiff. This does not mean that the plaintiff name must be specifically mentioned, but there should be evidence connecting the plaintiff to the statement. Like I said, no. Remember journalists wo UTV gina no omoye Yahoo boys. We your bear man now we journalists on UTV. You can take the case because I said my can yembo wudi but the class of people now you are part. Then the last element near the publication by the defendant. So see how crowd here the publication is very difficult to prove. Publication is a a third person must hear it.
Okay. Third person and say bet me I can say me no near te an yedi nkonkonsa no is about asimesi ni ho but ye third person make asem na che be asimesi asem bi na me catch you. Does that qualify to be publication?
No.
Okay.
Publication you say asem na me catch you no. A third party must know of it to qualify for the publication. Once said, like I said, it's no near slander because it's there was no right and anything. I dance in Tabia I dance in so you cannot make a claim. But with the advent of social media, when you post a everybody knows, so there's a third party involved. When you publish your daily graphic, say man talk graphic or be an talk graphic no kaya. The mere fact that it is out, it has been published. Another thing is if the publication got to you, a letter, maybe a mature letter to Honorable Despite, now may good in but the letter is supposed to go to Despite. Now will be intercepted letter no kwemwa. The letter has not been published because you are not the intended person the letter was supposed to. So in Hood versus Hood, the defendant posted a statement by the plaintiff in a sealed envelope, which was defamatory. In breach of his duty and out of curiosity, the statement was taken and read by a butler. The plaintiff claimed that this constituted publication of libel for which the defendant was responsible. The statement was not published in law, and the plaintiff action failed. If the person who intercepted the conversation it's not the right person the conversation was going to a publication.
But at the end of the day, you were defaming the person. But the fact that nipa na intercepted letter no enyo no na wo se nkote san konkonsa no. Yes say eno de ehudi.
Information, yes.
Okay.
And I say obi kan asem cheme egu obi hu fin. Na me ko catch obi fufura. You can be charged with the defamation. Me and Koka so we can be charged with defamation because we are in law we are republishing that false statement. And your defense cannot be that and you we catch him no. when I can't tell, but maybe you are supposed to. Yes, now we can for their so that is defamation in general. But one thing is say when you say in law no, if be know that quite non-habit.
Okay,
you cannot give what you don't have. Nipa na oba unsi obi for defamation. You must have a good character. So the law will not permit a man to recover damages in respect of an injury to a character which he does not or not to possess. Mimbo be but yeah, mommy and I said didn't go to prison. Okay, the behavior of social media and the way or yen in Yamana. A bad difficult or no better call because naturally Nangasan who so say who nas and conform the right thinking members of society no cry you cannot go and mount a defamation in court because the law protects reputation. If you don't have that reputation, there's nothing to be protected.
But who decides who has reputation?
It is the court. So that would be the defense. Say maybe over social media or so for now the term will be comfort them. Now later who the assem quarter. The defense American say, reputation now will see you don't have. Because defamation is just a protection of reputation. So if you don't have that reputation, what exactly are you in court for? And then the court will decide on
that. International say, yetiasia, ya ashef for sake ni yetiasia. Ansa na wo be court so be gu ni mu ase na obi gu hu fi no. E so make sure say wan kasa na nkasa we debut e society no reputation e kronjen.
Correct.
Di agufi ebia in the eyes of the public, and I say wherever it is no lifestyle no proper neat sir.
Exactly.
If say you are not that person, you cannot.
No.
But when we say that is if I say we are taking away the right of that person. Because fine, the first say me na ebia me be di ago boni ewo ebia fidie so anase nyema no nche say me na me de me ho na media go boni no nche say wo was right and say also be go movie ana me boa. Okay,
so the thought of defamation protects character and reputation. Also obi egu movie in the thinking of the right people in society. Why you go movie no? Do you have that character? Now why you feel that? So why you feel that? What exactly are you going to the court to claim?
To claim.
Because then there's no defamation in the first place. That's the point.
Sasem na ye kan fa ho no se bio eye no krea. E betimi aka say eye defamation.
No. So there were defenses in defamation.
Ebi asem na me ka kire no. Obi enim. Me between me na won unim say asem na me ka no no kre. Ebi ana Michael, e say wakọ wo baby. Obi nim say wa baby ba me no wominim na ma be ka wa bonte ye kontokwa na say bibi I don't know maybe a program so na ma be ka say na wo kra say ana say nti say na ehu so ye kama no nya say na wote e vitire no to say ana say to say some na me ka na ye no kre no matter how embellishments be a me be fa an exaggeration be no kra still about me assume under defamation.
No, truth is a complete defense in defamation. Okay. So now on every element, let's come to the defenses. The defenses in defamation. There were absolute privilege. Which are Ghana Constitution parliamentarians, MPs, when they are making comments in the plenary on the floor of Parliament, they have absolute privilege. To me, if I say on the floor of Parliament, same for judges. Judges, when they are in their chamber or when they are in court, anything they say, they have absolute privilege. Only a judge because of what the judge said whilst in the course of her duty. Then ministers also and presidents, they also have what we call the executive privilege. I don't say a complete privilege. Say if they are what they did is in line with their duty as ministers of state or state functionaries, they have absolute privilege.
Talking about that, let me ask you a question. Now, you have say parliament inside, and now say about TV, so you share any who say, "Ubi e kasa ubi papa kum nipa." Sasem no, it has nothing to do with Rebecca say the things and answer the workings in Parliament. And statements. Why doesn't that statement come under defamation?
Unfortunately, per our laws, those statements were made in the plenary.
But it was made in jest of that person.
Yeah, but it was made in the plenary. So the Parliament in itself, they have what they call their privileges committee. They will find who's particular said that, and if there's any sanction, they can met it out to the person. But what assembly found, in fact, in this case, it was about Honorable Zaneto. You cannot maintain an action in court because, like you said, the person has absolute privilege while speaking on the floor of Parliament.
Anyway, even though a bad one time will be who still
no,
you can't do
because of the location of where the words were spoken.
Okay.
Then there were qualified privilege, immunity from lawsuit for defamation for acts committed in the performance of legal or moral duty, and which are properly exercised and free from malice. Adena Wukano, you are not actuated by malice, and yet there's a privilege for you. Then there's fair comment. And some I will say making Obia Kebi. And everybody knows that it's a fair comment. But these defenses, you have to prove in court. And Nipa no edo kokota. Now Nipa is able to establish all the elements. Then it's up to you to come to the defenses and prove, say, okay, a fair comment. Comment or criticisms on matter of public interest. Such comments are made honestly without malice. Elements of fair comment. The comment must be a matter of public interest. The comment must be based on the fact. If you can't prove the factual basis of the comment, then the defense cannot hold. The comment must be an opinion. Defamation action based on opinion will fail. Then you will justification or truth.
Before Abekono, what falls under an opinion? What becomes an opinion and what becomes a statement of fact? The reason why I'm bisa and saying, you know, you won't call to send an army bisa before no. You won't call baby omoye and social media vloggers, bloggers, what's not. Now what much come is you almost so not just say, and send me be the way you mokano. Send me china me sha. And me who say your opinion and the Emma, but as I find say ye human intimidate me kasama for and I say me a journalist in tea. It was a me kasanutina ye kasa tatra, and we know that the public means so one more fire them very, very seriously because answer wait to TV so they just say oh no aha. At what point does a statement coming from a person to say me a opinion, and at what point does it become a statement of fact?
Okay, so if you are expressing an opinion, it is alleged, in Crawford say, one say you are qualifying the statement, but when you come and say I can categorically state, I can confirm, and when your opinion, you are stating your mind, and that one you can be taken on by the consequences. No,
allegedly, or you soon as innuendo. Oh, can't say no, we are not saying, but allegedly.
You must also prove that those comments you are making are not actuated by malice. And you must have to prove in court. It's going to mean you will be final later or they allegedly accusation. That's what I'm saying that I said me the okay you do be court but when they so raise defense on this fair comment and to raise fair comment in an opinion na to judge na sooner and normally for several cases is the preponderance of evidence. The threshold is not as high as criminal cases. And it's all kind of to judge na sooner so then the judge can say okay this one there is not defamation. Yes, so that is it. Okay. Then you were justification or truth. Say me wo ba wo baby and I me twin plan wo baby wo be rechi no be go catch me area me to me fan go court because there's evidence to show say o bani and you know there only panning the deal on good fee. Like that's what I'm saying that defamation protects reputation. And he said, because all about baby now see me go fi near the akola ne ba quarter. What exactly
are you so baby? No, be soon. You say we Roman father. So
what exactly are you claiming from the court?
Aha. Yeah, fast answer. Into say you can not say. I say still I say me go anymore. So man be can. Say could be any.
Yes, but once it is a truth and you can maintain that truth in court there, it's fine. Then consent. Obi also wa mau consent e bia wa kan asema chew about no wa ka so asemi obetumi akoka but e bia wo kwa woka no o de ka wa embellish ne ka na inti asese ade consent no de ma no o person revoke that consent that is not allowed so na o ka che no man to me so obetumi aka che obi dia then that was
na so ka che no one can show say koka but is a truth a fact. So on the what baby no be confessions.
Yes, so you cannot mount a defense on consent.
Okay.
So that consent is not there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And defamation, are there any statute of limitations?
Mostly for civil cases. The Limitation Act, I need to, but I think the Limitation Act is for 7 years for civil cases.
For civil cases. What the encombra na what the ye entire encombra. So your man saying e wo UTV so and I will share a defamation and na e ho and ye twetwe encombra. So be ka asem egu obi e ho enimtia and no ho encombra ye twetwe ye kwaje nkrato ye ba na ato aso. E wo UTV so me da se we fidie no eda so eda ha e law on defamation e ho and ye twetwe encombra. Lawyer twetwe mu say ye wo mu mienu slander ene ye friend saying libel ne nya ya tre na slander no say nia wode wano aka na wode ato ni nyina aka ho ebi kwa ye dewu ada beboa mo amote south anyway ye be kona me bisa say obi e ka me ho asem ma is there any statute of limitation e bia na oka no 2024 mante but in the social media bia obi nso ye bibi no wakofa sa publication no e no wabebo e na afi no mate ye 2025 can I still go back? Now, miss you.
Yeah, for civil claims, generally the limitation is 7 years.
Okay.
So after 7 years, you cannot make a claim on it. So can last year now when to be and Adamona, it's still within the period of the limitation. You can still maintain a court. In fact, even if the period of limitation has elapsed, but there were genuine reasons why you couldn't come to court. You can go and seek leave of the court to institute your action. But you have to make a case to the judge for the judge to give you that leave before you can go and institute the action. Yeah.
Michael, megu enimu ase. Nenso so mababe power chow. Ye ba am say Michael ne die asemi amekan wo de fa che me. Semi apologize here. Still I to me sue me for defamation and I may apologize here. Is it a defense to defamation?
No, apology is not a defense to defamation, but most of the time before Nepal do be court Obama the lawyer at trauma and giving you say 48 hours. Just recently there's a Facebook post of the Minister of Communication say Oba Bem Wakoji Lexus will be with the Code of Conduct of Ministers.
Yeah.
When the issue came out, the lawyers need trauma, Nipa no making that claim, and on man 48 hours. In fact, on man 7 days. Say on farm patcho, one patcho or the Beko court. The Nipa no patcho or the court. So yes, the person normally no before the person will institute the defamation Twitter, they give you the opportunity to apologize. Ebi wa one share that or ferry phobia or to many omako no akopane chop. But when that window elapses, you cannot then go and say okakopacho, meaning say opportunity was given to you. You have abused our opportunity, and now the law must take it.
But what if I gave you the opportunity to apologize, but I still feel that I should seek redress? Say, forgiveness doesn't mean that I'm a free hurdle. I forgive you, so I still want to press charges like this. You should still be punished. Oh. Is there any mitigation?
I don't think you can maintain that defamation because normally, what they write is that use the same medium that you use in telling the world about the wrong things about me to publish that apology. If that say we kum nipa, na makache will be on Facebook, na makose me cut transit dream when I realize that man yeni no about the same Facebook be power choa. This one why do you want to go to court? Because I said no can work but just to say no credit. And you are going to the like I said In defamation, you are going to protect your reputation. So if that reputation has been protected through the apology, then there's no need. I think you are just abusing the court process in that.
So in essence, no, so be a cabibi na nipa ne pachawa. Na se mente me ho aska na me feel say stella asem na okan no. Aha me egu meni mu ase bia me business partners. Be we am ko mo ntie news ni bi time a wo pachaw no. Who he has a no, is that what the law says? I mean, moral grounds in Tina,
oh, it's a moral ground. The person can decide to proceed to court. So, for example, the former vice chancellor of University of Ghana, Professor Enesaite, ordained the vice chancellor, the person who took over in the early years of 2017, 2018. Said a whole lot about him. Say Obedi vice chancellor no or Tonton Legon Asase DC hostels or the Nico court. And he claimed 1 Ghana cedis. That was a claim. He won. Yebisa say why did he claim 1 Ghana cedi no? The pro na once a normal link of what the court 10 million, 5 million his Professor Ite say he wants his name to be cleared. It's not about the money. So that is it. So, in fact, he also gave the opportunity to the chancellor to apologize about on whose Phyllis said maybe he also has ground to mount a defense in court. So, now would you to my fine, but you can also proceed to the court. But what exactly are you going to prove if the person can even put in his pleadings, they say, or in his statement of defense, say, oh, he realized his fault, he has actually begged you. The court. Once the court case is not also, you don't have to come and waste the court case, the court's time with such cases.
Okay, okay. Say your friend is saying, may I be sabi mama? Your friend is saying, answer maybe bisa about young journalists. How can we protect ourselves from defamatory cases?
Okay. You don't say things you are not sure of. If you are not sure of, precede your language with. It is alleged, and I say matese, and I say mean to mean see super say way and creba way na mate. In that instance, you insulate yourself from any legal suit, but don't go and be making categorical statements. I dare wouldn't say you do transcendent. You cannot get evidence anywhere. But because of the sensationalism, and I say in our media airways, sensation sells. So, Obia person starting from a community radio station, if they want to quickly rise to UTV or the other TV stations, and it's sensation, no, you may just be exposing yourself to legal suits. Now, say charge you to a scale work account. Only scanning that for accounting. But once you get a judgment, then you have to enforce the judgments. If you are savings, like the most important thing is to say, "Oh, scout 10 million kronas to meet you." The populace will know that you are not credible. So what it means that they don't put much premium on it. And your number one asset is your credibility. If there's you don't have any credibility, then you are as good as dead. But also what I say.
Now, corporation, so to say, a Jumakuo, to say UTV, or Despite Media, as a company, no, you bet to me bring your friend a defamation case against another entity and as against the person.
Oh yes.
Okay.
Every business person puts business to make profit, and there's all kind assembly for business that has a tendency to affect the bottom line of the business. Need finances, and they can institute court action to insulate themselves. Some years ago, this lady, Ifia Schwarzenegger, now she decided to say now or pure water. And as it in Jonas can say polytank not pure water no or wow. She can maintain that action, but like I keep on saying, it's about reputation. But in this instance, she's not coming as a person. She's coming as a company. And she can because in some more kind, it has the tendency to affect the sales of the company, say, or what, no, the numbers. So everybody will shun that company. So there you can institute an action by the company to protect your economic rights. Yes.
Okay. Now, Mamim Bisa say, say your friend is saying how do I even put it? Say ya waka asem no ebia ya de defamation ni akokot na yehu se sa nipa we ota eka sansem no apart from say bia obi de asem na back court say sa nipa we egumani mu ase na ebia te say me pese me bo obi edin ebia sa nipa bi mo ho a ehu so wo sa agudie no wo ta di sa agudie na efia time bia na say wo mu didi amanfo atam wo mu didi ayi court ni ntumi nhye. And I say, isn't there any law a prohibited sankophone? You say freedom of speech, but it prohibited sankophone say, Mamma publications, and I say, Sanya, and I say, is it just the damages to say, Sikankwa, Nebia Ubinya, and I say, there are no other criminal punitive measures via a dema sankophone.
Criminal, no. In fact, the law on criminal libel has been repealed, so there's no criminality.
Why was it repealed, if I may ask? Yes, you are there.
To give freedom, so the press wants say, yes, and I say, press no story no person trying to make sure because one share police for back within to give effect to the constitutional privileges given to the media, but that does not also mean that it must act irresponsibly.
Come back and then they say me true now. Niabe answer obeji miskende. My men can me and me trace that anyway. That's just by the way. Yeah. But
normally, no, when you maybe a call break, but I'll read a sample defamation suit.
Lawyer, your time na so no, you call break na.
Normally, no say nipa no head the court no or seeking reliever. The first relief is about damages. The second relief is say you must not mention the person's name again. And bomi di fan can say mubium. In fact, recently, no, Madam Empress Adoye, oni agrada court. What kind of reliefs now? Apart from the money that she's asking, she's also asking that Emma Agrada emboni dim biom in any way. So once the court assembly go to court, the court no ba conclusion say in fact a good Madam Empress Adoye mufia, they will grant that relief. What it means is that want to be boni dim like you need dim free when yes, those are some of the reliefs that you also seek from the court.
Now me be say generally say obi yenim say sa nipa we maybe asem na nipa ne kan emfa me ho per se but maybe as a right thinking member of society me person menya what is right so say na me what the privilege to be able to even arrest another person in certain situations no me miss her right na if I said me say sa nipa we dey beyond you didi atem e ke kan kofo ho nsem gugu nkofo ho bu nkofo enimutia me to me fa court say court mo ye bibi fa sa ma me we hu na dey bia na sa papa we hu dey bia na odi atem gugu nkofo enimu ase.
No, the thought of defamation and certain thoughts under chapter 5 of the Constitution, it is in persona. In persona, just say the person affected must be the person who can institute an action in court. Then, before I let's look at the forum. Say, Obi Edifemuwa, it depends on what you are looking for. If the claim you are making is between 0 to 500,000, you go to a district court. If it's from 500,000 to I think 3 million, you go to a circuit court. Anything after that, you go to a high court. Apart from that, and so which court actually do you go? Normally, no, you go to the court where the defendant resides, and he say meti osu. Nani pano gumi ufiniti abeka. I'll look at the court around abeka. But to me, they are called court osu. But the person who go me who can come and raise issue about jurisdiction or about the forum. Say or not to get to say okay, the forum it doesn't matter. We keep it my end wosu. But sometimes to be safe, go to Abeka, look at the courts there, look at what you are actually claiming. Look at the amount involved and you select the court.
The statement was not said in Baby on or side in Baby or but it was said maybe in another fencing area. Meet me there could be or can't say no.
So if you check for that 3 rule 1 of CIA 47, one second.
Because as I say, yeah, easier, mass say a crow and be say, oh, now we go many more lesson. Miss our crow as I come.
One say, apart from the substantive law, procedure is also very important. Obey to me gumufi obey to akoko tin about one someone to egu because you are not going to the right forum. That's why I'm saying anytime no in most civil cases, nobody to me defend you, but get a lawyer. Just pay the legal fees, and the lawyer will do the right thing for you. So we share order 3 rule 155. Or say all other causes or matters shall be commenced in the region in which a defendant resides or carries business. If there are 2 or more defendants resident in different regions, the cause of matter may be commenced in any of the regions. All right, but in our courts, and based on what you are looking for, so if it's a district court, now share now around on district courts in New Ho, but the district court is somewhere, then you can take the case there, depending on what you are looking for. If it is 0 to 500,000, then 500,000 to I think 3 million. Then after that, so district court, circuit court, and then the high court. Yeah. Okay.
Is there a situation where the court may maybe uphold your case now the other court no day, but one more ancient mauska and as a reliefs now ocean one better so?
Oh yes, it's possible. And let me give a classical example. Yera Ibrahim Mama at the and so Subempa court. I think he was looking for 10 million Ghana cedis. But they already caught the man 500,000 because he wasn't coming to court. Or a businessman. He was not the reason the court gave was that he wasn't making time to come to court. It was somebody he was prosecuting his court through witnesses. So yes, we claim now why any day the court can whittle down the claim and give you. But most importantly, when it comes to defamation now, people who send defamation to court, it is not about the money. It's about protecting their reputation. Yes. So once he's able to get that reputation, that's a it's also an added bonus to you because you like it's just an added bonus to it.
Okay. Lawyer, last with the time now,
defamation is expensive. And in particular, say who share who can say about Obi, and you know it is not true. Please don't say it, because like I said, no. Once you yourself, you may not be credible. Compare business, they compare you, and it has the tendency to affect you. Once sometimes in our societies, we are closely knitted. Make our asema era despite many evidence. Then addition the see your brain is on mami ejuma. Even though UTV is an equal opportunity player or equal opportunity employer I don't think that the person will give you a job in this organization. So our actions have consequences, and we should be mindful of what we say and what we do.
Thank you very much, Lawyer Michael Kwabla, private legal practitioner, law consult, or airport residential area in the Kokoshe building. Enna no issue de afa defamation. Meaning say, we issue de o kasa to send a lawyer kind. Now washe wanu ye enkania enim. Enna say kra na make sure say o kano kwan paso fatiri po say wo de ka egu nipa kwane hu. Efi mmara no so sen UTV so me den e de ekua asante ba mensa ye besin hye biem. Bye bye.